Alrighty. Stream is up. Looks like it's doing all the things streams are supposed to do. So, when you select Empire, you're gonna go ahead and create new.
Okay.
And then just hit the select button, and it'll take you to making a brand new Empire. Now, the first thing you're gonna pick is Appearance. You use the left-hand bar. Just select the Appearance tab, and basically pick whatever you want. The only ones that have weird caveats are the lithoids, the necroids, and the machines. They all have their own special stuff that are basically tied to them as a being.
Okay.
Like
Not just appearance. Okay.
Yeah, it's for the most part it's just appearance, but like if you choose a machine race as your appearance, you're going to get abilities and traits that are about the fact that you're a robot.
Ah, I see.
So while they will do effectively the same thing, they're going to be flavored a little different, and they might be a little bit different in functionality because you don't grow populations of robots, you build new ones.
Oh, okay.
So let me know what you pick, so
Yeah.
I can stay with you.
I'm going Avian. Holo burung, holo unggas. Okay. The first one. Avian, the first one.
You're going with the weird bird people?
Yeah.
Okay, bird people.
Right.
Then you're gonna go to your name. Name it whatever you want. The beauty of the name is there's an adjective button. So you can go, I don't know, I'll just call him Kevin for testing. And then I guess that ends in a plural. Or an adjective. Basically, you can click the adjective button and it'll take the word that you put in as your name and make it sound like an adjective. So you can name whatever you want and hit the button.
Yeah, I named it Rainy and then it got Rayman.
I'm just gonna call mine Dave because I'm not actually gonna save them and I don't care. So after you're done naming, you'll go to your name list. This is where you get the names of all your randomly generated planets, ships, leaders, the fleets that are going to be generated. This is the pool of names and titles that you're going to pull from. I'm partial to, if I can find them real fast.
There are.
I'm partial to Human CM, just because I like the names that come with it.
Oh, I see.
But this is entirely whatever you feel like having. And then you can add your ship prefix. This will be whatever is in front of all your ships, like USSs, stuff like that.
Okay. Next.
Yeah, entirely cosmetic. Now you're into traits. This is where the fun begins. So this is you as a species. You can pick up to 5 options, and you have 2 points. Some of these are negative point costs, because they're a negative modifier. That's how you can get more points if you want to get something really expensive, like one of my personal favorites if you're going to go for a psionic line is to pick up Venerable early on, because that makes your people live incredibly long, which is very helpful when you're trying to elevate them to psychic immortals. Having them, not die on you 10 years before you made them immortals.
80 years lifespan. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so this is basically you're picking things that are you're dictating what your species will have as traits. Now, some of the very important ones are right at the top. Agrarian, ingenious, and industrious. Those 3 give straight up plus 15 to your base resource gains.
Oh yeah,
which is
early.
Very, very helpful if you happen to be going in a build strategy where you're gonna need a lot of money, or you're gonna need a lot of minerals, and you don't really need anything else. You just need a lot of minerals, kind of thing. You can also pick up intelligent. That's a very good safe pick It's just a flat 10% research buff across the board. Very helpful. If you have no idea what else to pick, intelligence always a safe option because it's just you're just gonna find out tech faster.
Yeah. So basically, the -1 give you another slot for the positive one. Does it work like that?
So if you take a negative, so you see on the left there, you have trait points left and then trait picks left. You can pick up to any 5 total options, but you must have a 0 or greater point value left at the end of those 5 picks. So if I want to pick Venerable, which is a 4 cost, I only have 2 points to start with. So I'd have to take something like Repugnant to give me a -2, which gives me 4 points to spend, and then I can pick up Venerable.
Yeah.
Because that'll give me a balance of 0. And basically, that's the math. That's why the negatives exist, so you can get the more expensive things. So if you want to be really, really good at something, like being extremely adaptive, which is another very helpful if you're a rapid expansion type culture, if you want to spread out across a ton of planets really, really fast before you ever learn how to terraform anything, extremely adaptive will help with that, as you will become more planets are within your habitability range, but that costs 4. So you'd have to take some sort of negative, because that's a very strong buff. But for all the 4 costs, there's always a 2 cost variant that is about half the cost. It's going to give you half the buff for half the cost. The strong and very strong are the only deviation from this, where it's 1 and 3. But that's because it's only having to do with it's not as big of a buff as the other ones are, but it's still really strong of a buff, but it's not quite as game-changing as the others. I would recommend for your very first people, you probably want to pick up either Intelligent or to pick up Communal, and there's another one in here if I can find it, Conservationist. Communal plus Conservationist means you can cram more people together, and they will use less goods on your planet, which means you'll have an easier time dealing with the very fast pace that this game sits at by default, especially early on, when you're trying to do 100 things, and you have no idea where anything is, and things keep popping up.
Okay, yeah.
It gives you a little bit of more buffer, you can cram more people together, and they will use less of your resources, which is nice.
Okay.
Then from there, you go over to naming your planet. Again, this is entirely cosmetic. The only thing that really matters here is the planet type. So basically, whichever planet you click on, that is going to be your 100% habitability planet. The planets in the vertical column that it's in will have an 80%. Those 2 other ones will be an 80% habitability. Since they're close enough, your people are going to get by just fine. It's not quite like home, but it's close enough. And then, as you go away from there, it gets harder and harder to adapt, basically. So the farther you get from your starting point, the harder it is to adapt for your people.
Okay. So the center is the best choice, I think?
In theory, a continental world is the most well-rounded, but you have no idea what planets you're going to run into.
Yeah. Cool.
You could run into planets that are all ice, and suddenly being continental is not super helpful when all you're running into is frozen worlds.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
And then you name your home world and your star. And then the starting solar system, if you click through them and you hover over the actual text after you tab to them, it'll tell you what type of star system it is. This is entirely cosmetic, has no effect on anything in the random generation other than the cosmetic look of your starting system. Which is why I typically go with one of the trinaries, because it's just cool looking.
Star name.
know when you're... The next thing is just city appearance. Again, 100% cosmetic. It's whatever. So just let me know when you hit origin. I got more important stuff to say.
The city appearance, is that important or not?
Entirely cosmetic. All it does is change your background. No effect on gameplay.
Okay, now I'm on origin, yeah.
Okay. This is where the game gets really, really complicated. So, if you scroll on there, you'll notice there's quite a lot of start points. Each one of these is an option for your starting point, and the AI share this giant pool of starting setups.
Yeah.
So, this is where it gets really crazy. By default, you're on Prosperous Unification. This is the default setup. Most civilizations are going to end up on this. It's kind of the safe option. You get a little bit more... It's just a very well-balanced, basic setup. Machinist, that requires... that basically, you're going to have a whole lot of robots, if you want to go the robot route. So this is... You yourself are not robotics society, but you have a robotic population sharing your world with you. So if you want to go that route for the robot route, that's an easy way to start with some robots. Syncretic evolution, you get to design an entirely separate organic species to share your planet with you. So you are a species that evolved on a planet with another species that's also sentient, that isn't quite as smart, but they're big, strong people. So you can send them... They do dumb jobs that you need somebody big and strong to do.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is great if you want to be either if you want to go either the Federation route or the enslaving route, whichever way you would want to go with that. You start with another population of different species to then have your diversity, however that's going to be.
Okay.
Life Seeded changes your home world to a Gaia world, which is the best possible planet type out there. It's guaranteed 100% compatibility for everyone at all times. It's fantastic. They're huge. They're covered in stuff. It's just beautiful and fantastic. If you start with this as your home world by taking this origin, you will have an extremely high dislike for literally every other type of planet. So it basically kills all your habitability everywhere else in the galaxy. Because your people want to be on a Gaia world because home's a freaking paradise. Why would I want to live on this frozen rock?
Yeah. This sounds so realistic. Yeah.
On the flip side of the scale, you then have post-apocalyptic, where instead of having a Gaia world, you have a tomb world, which is a world that has been so devastated, it basically has nothing and can barely sustain life at all. This has the benefit of you then having incredibly long-lived leaders. They live a bit longer because they're used to these harsh conditions, so getting out helps them a lot, and it makes you able to live on other tomb worlds that you find throughout the galaxy, which are normally one of the worst planets you could find. You can now utilize, which can be very helpful.
So, choosing this one can gain you adaptability for other worlds.
I'm not sure if this one still gives adaptability for the other worlds. It used to, but it no longer says it in the tooltip, so I'm going to say no because we just got an expansion with a bunch of tweaks. So I'm going to say they took that away.
I see. Yeah, probably not then.
Remnants gives you a relic world. Basically, you were once a great empire, and you collapsed. So now you've got a whole lot of fancy technology, and your people don't know how to use it. You can get this whole separate story. for that one, where it teaches you, you start discovering all your old tech, and you might inadvertently set off a bunch of death robots on yourselves, kind of thing. Like there's a lot that can be done there for flavor. That's a little more difficult to start. Same with Shattered Ring. That's one of my personal favorite starts. As a Federation builder, I love the Shattered Ring because it's this. You start with all this really high-end late-game technology that your people can't use, and you start making friends, and then you start learning how to put the ring world back together, and suddenly you become this mega power at the center of this Federation. And it's a very nice start, but it's extremely difficult if you don't know what you're doing. Because the ring world is broken, you basically can't settle anywhere that's not a ring world well. It's very difficult of a start if you're not set up for it ahead of time. Then you've got your Void Dwellers. Similar to the Shattered Ring, you also live in space, but instead of in a giant ring around the sun, you live in space stations.
The space station? Wow.
So, it's similar in that concept. You get a bunch of really cool stuff, but your people then don't like living on planets. It's hard for them, because they're used to being in space.
Okay, that sounds like.
Then you've got your Scion. Basically, this will start you off instead of... Think the humans in Star Trek, back when the Vulcans first found them. You're the humans. The Vulcans are a fallen empire. You're under them as a vassal. They're keeping you protected. You're going to get You're going to get a bunch of really nice tech from them, as long as you go the tech tree they want you to.
Oh,
And
okay. So
you basically, you get directed by a fallen empire to do something, but you have this giant mega empire next to you that is so technologically advanced compared to everyone else in the galaxy that no one can ever touch you.
Okay.
Galactic Doorstep just throws a gateway on in your home system. This is for late game stuff. And very, very beautiful for Galactic Conquest. If you don't mind giving up one of the other starts, having a galactic having a gateway in your home system means you can send ships to literally any other gateway in the galaxy instantly. Which is very good if you just want to jump people around really, really fast. But remember, that gateway works both ways. So if somebody else has one, they can send ships right back to your homeworld. So, a bit of a double-edged sword there.
Yeah.
Yes, Stuffy boy, we've gone to the one place not yet corrupted by capitalism. Space! Except it is corrupted by capitalism because you can be a mega corporation.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. Then you've got Tree of Life. Tree of Life is great if you want to be the hive mind. Basically, it just gives you a whole lot of really powerful buffs for being a hive. That's basically it. It's just very, very... It's the hive mind start. Which is an interesting type of setup for your culture, to be a hive mind. And then you've got Shoulder of Giants, which is another really, really cool one. Basically, at some point in the past, some really powerful alien empire dropped your people off on this planet, and then just disappeared. And you can find a bunch of their relics and start learning a whole bunch of really cool tech. Calamitous Birth, this is for the lithoids. Instead of a normal evolution on their planet, you can have them crash into another planet and as a meteor, and then your bunch of rock people come out. Which is cool. You get some benefits from that. Bunch of free resources to start with. Then you've got the resource consolidation. This is for the robot. You are robots start. This turns your world into a giant robot world, basically. You can make Cybertron. Cool.
Oh, so I just realized that there is requirements for them.
Yes.
And I cannot choose it. if I don't have that. Yeah.
Yes, so basically this is also how you see what you would need to have these starts. I'm explaining what they are, and some of them, yeah, they have requirements, like the machine world. You gotta be a bunch of robots to live on the machine world. If you want to crash into a planet as a bunch of rock people, you need to be rock people. Things like that. There's some requirements that are based on your species, some are based on political or government setups. But we'll get to that in a bit. Got Common Ground, which is basically you start in a federation with a couple of neighboring worlds. Really cool as a concept. Has a bit of exploiting potential, because you could kind of just leave the Federation and conquer your neighbors before they get... You basically can steal all their tech and then go conquer them, and they can't stop you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Start a leader as Galatian of a Galatian. Okay.
Yeah, and then you've got Hegemon, which is kind of similar. It's just a different type of Federation. It's basically the same kind of thing. These are just two different ways of starting federations right off the bat. Both of which kind of function fundamentally the same, only with you start with two other member nations member planets and empires with you. It's just how they spawn is all that really matters there. Doomsday.
Wow.
Your planet's about to explode. You have 45 years to figure out what to do about that. That's the start. That's like challenge mode, really, is what that is.
Yeah.
Lost Colony. You start on a planet. Your people are from an advanced empire somewhere, and your colony ship just kind of got lost somewhere and ended up on this planet. You haven't heard... They lost contact a long, long time ago. That's basically the whole start. You can go find a mega empire to join up with if you find them again and they haven't been wiped out. And then you have the newest edition, which is Necrophage, which is the one I'm playing in my single-player game right now. Basically, you have a primary species, which is the one you created already. That is your elevated species. You then can create a subspecies. This is what your people were before they became your primary species. And what you do is you literally kill, every 10 years, each planet that you build this building in, you kill 3 population of the subspecies and turn them into the primary species, the elevated one. The only way to make the elevated species is to kill other populations and convert them up. Which is a very interesting, and you can only do 3 per building, per planet, because you only get 1 building on the planet. So you get 3 populations a planet every 10 years. Which is a very interesting... So basically you want to go conquer as many planets as possible and build these buildings to start building up your numbers. Because your elevated population, basically you don't have to take any traits in growth. You can take just traits in being good at something. Because on top of this, you will gain, if you take the Necrophage governing ethics and everything, the ethics, you basically gain 80 years to the life of your leaders. Just natively. You basically get venerable just baked into your culture at that point.
Oh, yeah.
So by rolling this together, your elevated species is incredibly long-lived and sturdy and just able to take on everything. So you just put all their traits into just being really awesome, and then you make your subspecies just make babies real fast. Because that's all you need them to do. Just make babies. I need more.
Pop it more, yeah.
So, at this point, I would recommend for your very first start, just take Prosperous Unification. But that is the overview of all of them. That default of Prosperous Unification is the noob-friendly one.
Yep.
Then we get to Government and Ethics. This is where it gets even more complicated. So if it wasn't already complicated enough with all the fancy shit going on, now you get to pick your types of government. hive mind and machine intelligence are going to be grayed out unless you happen to be a hive mind or machine intelligence compatible species. Which requires you to take basically that trait in the very center of the ethics on the left, that weird spirally thing, the circle-y thing.
Mhm.
If you click the very center one, that will change you to either a hive mind or machine intelligence option. Basically, that overrides any other ethics because you don't have a cultural identity. You are just a being with thousands of bodies at that point.
Okay, and it disables tutorial. What?
1 second. That would be an interesting Stuffy Boy's idea of basically Zomrads into Zomli as a necrophage. You could do that. You could literally do that. That is a thing you could do in this with the naming of it. So that's viable. So we'll start with authority first before we even look at ethics or the civics. Just look at authority. This is your government type. You can be democratic, oligarchic, dictatorial, or imperial, or you're going to be a mega corporation. Those are your 5 options, not being one of the hive-minded groups.
Oh yeah, the corporate.
These should be pretty self-explanatory as long as you understand how governments work.
Mm-hmm.
So pick whichever one you like. I'm partial to Imperial because I like this static control. Also, I tend to play Immortals, so having an Immortal Emperor just makes not having to think about my leader very convenient.
Yeah.
But you don't have to take that. There are very good reasons to take the other options.
The option, yeah.
Democratic has automatic resettlement chance is higher. People will move around more without you having to pay for it. So your populations will spread out better. Oligarchic has a faction influence gain, which is very nice. Factions are basically how you get most of your political power, especially early game, is through the factions. So having extra gain from them, very nice. Dictatorial, you don't have to you suffer less penalty from spreading your empire out over a wide area because you're the dictator and nobody can, what you say happens. And then Imperial, you get an extra edict. Edict can be very powerful, especially late game in directing large sections of your empire to do something.
Okay.
But it's not really a necessity. The real benefit of an Imperial system is you get a designated successor that you know is going to be the successor after this ruler. It's going to be, you know who your next leader is at all times. So if this one dies, you know who the next one is at all times. It's very nice and stable. You can plan ahead. You can see where this is going. You know you have until this one passes away to do certain things. And, oh, this guy's 97. He's probably going to die soon because I don't have any health bonuses. So what is the next guy's buff? Oh, he makes building space stations easier. I'll just wait a year. Oh, look, my leader died and the new guy's in. Let's build space stations. Because he builds them faster and cheaper. So because you always know who your next guy is, it makes forward thinking very easy.
As in democracy or oligarchy, you don't know the next guy.
You can know, but it's not guaranteed. So it's a vote. So you as the leader, you get a lot of sway in the vote by saying, you should vote for this next guy. But it's a vote. So you don't really know for sure. And even as dictatorial, you get to pick the next one. But it's a list of people, and you may not get somebody you want. I just rather than try to pick and hope I get somebody who's helpful, I tend to just be like, this is what's coming up next, and that's what I have.
Okay.
So I'm less disappointed, and it's more like, well, that's what I have, and there's nothing I can do about that. Like, just dealing with the cards as they're dealt kind of system. So, which one are you picking?
I think I'm going with oligarchy.
Alright.
Yeah, I like the faction influence for early game, I think. Yeah.
Now we'll go over to ethics. So this is how your people view the outside world. Are they a spiritualist people, This has a benefit to Unity, which helps you get a lot of benefits, and reduces the cost of edicts. The downsides being you can't have full AI rights. Basically, spiritualists don't see robots as full sentient beings, is their downside. And that's if you notice how they're positioned, directly opposite of spiritualist is materialist. You can't be a spiritualist and a materialist. They are opposite each other, they can't share. Anything that's directly opposing is literally directly opposing. So in the material side of things, your robot upkeep is reduced, and your research speed is faster. So if you're going to go the robot route, not only do you get better robots, you get better research. Then we'll go over, we've got militarist. You get better claim influence, better your ships fire faster, and you can put into practice the no retreat war doctrine. This is very good if you want to really take over places, because you really dish out some damage. Contrast to that, obviously, is pacifist. You can't use unrestricted wars, and you can't use indiscriminate orbital bombardment. You have to be more you have to target selected buildings. You got to be a little more careful with your warfare. But as a counter to that, your empire sprawl from having more people is reduced, which means you can spread out better. You can have more people, and your people are happier, and you have better stability because your people are happier because you're not at war all the damn time.
Yeah.
Then you've got xenophobic and xenophilia. Xenophobes, you can purge aliens and enslave aliens, which is good if you're going for the evil empire build. You get starbase influence cost is reduced, which means you can build more space stations. Your population grows faster because your people don't like those aliens, so let's have more babies to stop them. And then as their counter, you've got the xenophiles. You get a better opinion of all other species. You can enslave people or displace aliens, but you get a higher trade value and you can have more diplomats. This is good if you want to be a Federation builder, because it gives you that ability to interact better with all these crazy aliens you're going to run into. Then we get over to egalitarian, contrasted by authoritarian. Egalitarian, basically you can use the utopian living standards. Everybody is equal, everybody lives in perfect paradise at all times kind of situation, if you can afford that. It's going to be pretty late game for most people to afford that.
Yep.
You get more faction influence, 25% as the base value, even more if you go up to the fanatic levels. Basically, the orange versions are just double whatever the green ones are.
Yeah.
And you get more specialists, which is great if you're going for a... again, this is all very much in line with the Federation builders, we want these beautiful, everybody loves living here utopia builders. That would be one of your options. Authoritarian, monthly influence is increased, and your worker population resource is buffed. Really great if you're going to run a militaristic conquering empire, because they can just turn out more stuff for you to send to the war.
Okay.
It also, if you didn't take the xenophobic option, authoritarian will also let you enslave aliens. If you want that option in your empire, that's another way to get it without having to be xenophobic.
Yeah.
And then we're all the way around the circle at that point. So basically, you have 3 points to spend. You can either choose 3 green options, or you can choose 1 green option and 1 orange option, because orange costs 2.
Yep. Okay. So, I'm going with xenophile, pacifist, and egalitarian.
Okay. So you're going for the good guys.
Yeah, I'm going for good guys.
The nice people at Empire.
Yeah.
Just enough with your puns.
Oligarchy.
I see this.
Morrison,
I am not ignoring you, chat. I just have a lot of things to say. It's a very complicated game. I don't have the drink for this. Jesus.
It being a grand strategy game, so many stuff in it.
Alright, now we're on to civics. Now, civics are going to change what's available based on your species, origin, ethics, and authority, which is why you leave them for last. Because those 4 other things are going to determine what's available for you in the civics to begin with. Then from here, you're going to have a ton of options. Now, if you're going for, what I'm assuming at this point you're going for a Federation builder, this is the part where you could spend 16 hours just fiddling with civics, coming up with the perfect min-max thing. It's going to be a lot of trial and error. So for the purposes of this, because there's a lot, and I'm not going to go through all of them, we'll be here for the next 2 hours. I'm gonna go find the ones that will be probably the best benefit for you as a Federation builder. That would be diplomatic corps, gives you 2 extra diplomats to send out to talk to other people, and increases your diplomatic weight with other people by 10%. Very helpful for, you know, talking to a lot of people.
Yeah, basically.
And then, let's see. Some of this stuff has changed, so I do have to read them real fast. Because we just got a new expansion, like, 2 weeks ago. I always love the Byzantine bureaucracy. This is a personal favorite of mine. It's just extra unity and stability, just kind of baked into your culture. It's always a good fallback, but not a necessity. There's also a brand new revision to cutthroat politics. You you don't just get the edict cost reduction in cutthroat politics, you now get code breaking. Code breaking means you can get into contact with people faster, and it's harder for people to hack you. So you get to determine when you make contact with people, and you can spy on people better.
Okay.
There's also efficient bureaucracy, which is just straight up 10% more administrative capacity, meaning you can spread out more. And then if you really want to double down on the consumer goods thing that we did earlier, then you'd want environmentalists. I would say one of those 4 would be your best options for what you're trying to do.
I'm going with cutthroat politics.
Yeah, that's a good one, especially with the new revision to have the code breaking. Very nice to determine who you can talk to. Next up is your advisor voice, purely cosmetic.
I think I don't have this one. Yeah, it goes to environment directly.
Oh, you may not have all the voices.
Yeah, I don't
That's
have
fine.
the DL setting.
That's fine. It's all cosmetic anyways. It doesn't matter. Now you're naming your empire. You can name it whatever you want. Doesn't matter, and then give it an adjective. This is all cosmetic. All cosmetics. In fact, pretty much everything from here on out is cosmetic. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Next.
So then you're making your flag. Primary color is going to be the color that your empire shows visually on the map. The secondary color is going to be the color they use for your border and all your highlighted effects. But your primary color is literally the color that's going to be on the map that everyone sees.
Okay. Pirate. Pointy round.
And then you get to add, obviously you get to add all the various symbols as you would like. You make it whatever you want, make it pretty. I don't know what options you're going to have. I have personal favorites, but this is purely cosmetic. I have all the DLC, so stream gets to see all the crazy options you get. If you own all the stuff. Because I like these kind of games, so I tend to buy all the DLC. God, it's expensive. Don't do this.
Okay, I got one.
Alright, then you get over to your ships. Again, purely cosmetic. Pick the ones you like the look of. This is actually, they're showing you your, I believe they show you the research ships now. There was a revision at one point in what they show. So I'm pretty sure these are These are either the science or construction ships. It's one of your civilian units, is what they show you, but it gives you a good indication of the kind of styling that your empire is going to have for spaceships. Basically, just pick whichever one you like the look of.
Okay, got it.
Then you get your ruler. Again, name them whatever you want. Make them look pretty with the various sliders. What different species have different actual... There's a lot of different buttons here. Some of them won't work, depending on what species you are. The ones that always work are your clothes and room. This is all cosmetic. Just try to make it look themed to whatever you happen to try to build this empire to be. Yeah. Try to keep it on brand. You gotta name your first ruler. Again, it doesn't matter what you name them. And then, yeah, you'll have your species. And then, at this point, save them. Always save when you're done building with them. And then hit the done button.
Okay, done.
And I am not going to be my... Do I be the Ringworld people on stream? I don't think I'll be the Ringworld people on stream. I feel bad if I'm the Necrophage again, though. Like, I start conquering the galaxy. Let me make a temporary edit to one of my other ones here, just so I'm not as aggressive right off the bat, especially if we're going to spawn next to each other. Yes. Empire name. Perfect. Super matter. I don't really change anything anymore. I'm basically always the same. I just basically change out the... Yeah, there we go. Alright, so I'm a little less aggressive. And there we go.
Okay.
And now we go into the galaxy, and this is where the game... Let's say like that was how long? That was like an hour? In setup.
Yeah, only the setup.
Welcome to a truly 4X game. Can I do anything while we're in this screen? No. Let me know when you're in.
Yeah, I'm in.
Alright. Start. So it's going to pop up a screen that gives you some backstory of your in-universe lore as to why you are here, your origin, stuff like that. We're not really worried about that. Our important part is to immediately go over to the research tab. You should have those 3 buttons at the top kind of glowing at you. Click on any of them, it'll bring up the full research tab.
Yeah.
Step 1, if at any point you have increases research percent, take it. Every time.
Every time.
If that is an option, take faster research. It's just going to make everything else you research from now on faster. Just good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I got it.
Then you want to go out to the galaxy view, because this is where you're going to spend most of your time. Oh god, this is tiny. These are a much bigger galaxy. Go ahead and grab your construction ships. Well, we'll not do construction first. Grab your science ship, and basically pick a neighboring star system, and just tell it to survey. And while holding shift, go down the list of anything that is in close like touching your home system proximity, and just tell it to survey. Then...
Oh, wait. So you can queue it up.
By holding shift and then right-clicking on a star, you can click to survey system. If you hold shift the entire time, it'll queue it, and you can get something like 100 total actions stacked. Each planet it scans is an action, so you may not be able to you're not going to survey 100 star systems. You're going to queue 100 actions, selecting anywhere from 5 to 20 actions per star system.
Okay.
Depending on how densely packed that star system is. And if you click on the science ship after this, it'll tell you how many orders it has and all it's going to do. You can see that if in the bottom left little pop-up.
Bottom left.
Yeah, once you select the science ship, you can also see it on stream.
Yeah. I got 4 orders, yeah. Okay.
Another thing to make sure you have set up is in the bottom right, there's a detailed map mode. You want to have your hyperlanes turned on and your Empire map mode turned on. You want to make sure those 2 things are glowing and basically nothing else. The rest of that's just clutter.
Yep. Got it.
That way you can see where things are. Now that guy's going, we'll pop over to the shipyard. And the first thing you want to build, you go to the actual... So if you click on that shipyard station there and you go to the shipyard tab, you can then click on for another science ship. You're gonna want at least like 3 of these dudes. They're super important for finding anything, especially early game. Although 2 might be enough with how tiny this galaxy is. I'm used to the biggest size, so I'm used to needing a lot more stuff. Basically, we're just gonna let that run, and make those. Here's the leader tab. Don't go there. It is. You can check your recruiting options and see if you have a low-cost scientist available. Not very likely on the start of the game, but if you get one that only costs 100, grab him now. And as soon as that science ship is ready, just shove him in the science ship and send him out surveying. If you don't have that option, you're just gonna have to wait until you make 200 credits. And we're not really gonna have enough resources for much of anything at this point. Because everything's kind of expensive. But if you grab your science ship and right-click on your home system, if you can afford to build the mining stations, not the research stations, the mining stations, do so. If you can't, just wait.
Great. Click on the...
You grab the construction ship and then just right-click your home system, and then you should see build mining stations. If you can afford to build them, do so. If you can't, that's okay. Just wait until you can. Okay. Build the research stations after mining stations every time. Because research stations still cost you 1 credit per station per month. So it's going to draw on your supply. And they don't give you anything but research, whereas the mining stations, you mine credits. So some of those mining stations are going to net you a positive gain of credits, as opposed to a negative gain. As well as also throw a whole lot of minerals in there, and minerals are the backbone of everything. If we go over to your planet, you'll see there's a building on there. Maybe, well, I don't have one, I guess. Yeah, they moved it, that's right. If you go in there, there's districts. You have the industrial districts. This used to be a building you had to build. Now it's part of your district. Way better. Basically what this does is the industrial district will turn your minerals into equal parts consumer goods and alloys. Alloys make spaceships and big fancy things. Consumer goods keep your people happy.
Okay.
You still need food to keep your people happy, and you still need money to run everything. But for the most part, consumer goods and alloys are the things you're trying. Your raw resources are energy credits, minerals, and food. You use those to gain consumer goods, alloys, and influence. And unity. Mostly unity over influence is what you're going to produce. And those help you get things like research and better toys to go blow up your enemies with. And we like blowing up our enemies. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
So I'm going to unpause now, and that basically puts the game in go mode. And just like that, we are ticking. Yep, I have a new hair. Great. And now you're basically just waiting on your science ship to go find you stuff. Whatever that might mean. Now we are playing with my normal settings for the most part, just with a smaller galaxy and less total people. But otherwise it's my normal setup. So it's going to be, you should be guaranteed at least 2 habitable worlds in close proximity of your home.
Yeah.
Which is good for that early expansion. You want to find and settle those as quickly as you can afford to do so. Colonies cost energy per month. So if you build them, be aware that they are going to drain a good chunk of your credits while they're getting set up. You need to have a good stockpile of money before you send them out if you're anywhere near an equilibrium. If you're anywhere above about 20 credits per turn, then you should, if it's 20 plus, you should have no problem supporting a colony, probably even 2, without any significant drain on your actual credits income. Anything under about 10, you're gonna struggle. And you might even see negatives, depending on how big your demand is and how fast you're growing. The game is technically turn-based while also being real-time. So the turns are every month, which is if you see in the top right, you've got the fast ticking numbers, your days, then your month, and whatever year we're in. As every 30 days hit, we tick over a month. Each month is when you get all your payments cycle.
Oh.
So that's your turn. A month is a turn. The days are for combat purposes, and are always ticking. The ships all move in real time, and your construction projects all happen in measurements of days. So, but your payment cycles are all on the monthly turns, along with most of your other major transactions are all done on the monthly scale. Now, one of our mini goals here is I clustered players, so we should be near each other pretty close. You should be somewhere nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just kind of waiting for you to get to a certain part of the game, or me to get to a part in the game, or I can just have you look at the stream while I explain stuff as stuff happens.
Yeah.
Because there's the whole Unity tree to talk about. There's archaeology. There's so many sub things in this, but if they're not relevant right now, they're not going to make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, it's true. I got like the precursors, the Cybrex. It is recover artifact thingy, I think.
Nice.
So yeah, it's asking to recover artifacts.
Is it in your situation log? It'll tell you what it is. If it's an anomaly, it'll tell you what level it is. That level is a measurement of what level your scientist on the mission should be. If they are at least, if they are 1 lower than whatever that level is, they can probably pull it off. As long as they're about 1 lower, they shouldn't have too much of a problem pulling off the research project. You can basically send them to go do that.
Yeah, I think I met primitive civilization, and now it's asking me to build observation post.
Oh, you found a primitive! That's even better. So basically what you would do there is you would...
Situation log updated.
Yeah, I found alien life, yada yada. You send your construction... Once a system is fully explored, the system name will turn from a gray to a solid white. When it turns solid white, you've fully surveyed the entire thing. And alright, hold on. I'm gonna have to pause for a second, because now 2 things are happening at the same time.
Yep.
When the system is fully surveyed, you can send your construction ship to build a starbase, an outpost. This puts the system under your control. Once it's under your control, you then can spend more stuff to either build up mining and research stations in the area, or if you get super lucky, along with the mining and research stations, you can put up an observation system station over top of any primitive cultures. Depending on your empire's playstyle, will determine if you are trying to be invasive and you're trying to learn about them before you invade them and take all their stuff. If you're peaceful and you're going to let them naturally evolve and come up to space on their own, and just passively observe them for some cheap research benefits along the way, or if you're going to be more of the hi, we're the aliens next door, we're here to help you kind of playstyle, and you're literally going to go down there, hand them ray guns, and say, guess what? There's more species in space. Let's go! And drag their asses up to space travel. Here's a warp drive. Let's go. Kind of. So those are basically your general concepts in what you do with the primitives, but you have to fully survey the system before you can even make a step towards that. And if you happen to be watching the stream, I just got my first Unity perk. So I'm into my first tradition. Traditions are how you get all your crazy, crazy fun toys throughout the game. So you've got your expansion tree. This is all about growing rapidly in actual territory control. Makes your colonies develop faster. It makes it cheaper to throw out a whole bunch of stations. Makes it rapid expansion through that means less costly on your everything by reducing the cost of star bases and how much it costs to put them up in the first place. Then you go over to domination. Domination is about exerting your power over what you already control. So this is things like clearing the terrain of the planets you're on, controlling the populations of the worlds you've conquered and colonized, things of that nature. It's very much, I am in control. Prosperity is all about the credits. It's all about the money. It just makes a shit ton of money. It also makes a bunch of minerals as a byproduct, as it does tend to just affect mining outposts in general, which is also minerals. So it's all about getting more stuff. Stuff is good. Harmony is all about keeping a happy population. Benefits towards leader lifespan, and which the longer your leader lives, the happier your people are because they like having the same guy in charge all the damn time. It's very convenient to know who's in charge of shit. Governing ethics, more stability. Your ships are easier to maintain and faster to build because everybody's working together. It's a very peaceful coexistent style of tree. Supremacy is all about building a whole lot of military force. All it is. It's all military. Just more military. Diplomacy, that's pretty self-explanatory. It's about diplomacy. That's where you can get your Federation tech. If you go that tree, one of the very first... It's not going to be the first thing you get, but the second time you get a tradition, you can pick up Federations. It's that early. And it's really easy to get 2 traditions in. We haven't even really done anything, and I already got my first one. Discovery is all about science. Very helpful in a very large galaxy, as it gives a lot of benefits for sending a whole lot of science ships all over the place. Less helpful early game as in a smaller galaxy, but can be very helpful either way, as it does just give more research, just flat benefits across the board as you get deeper into the tree. It's just the early parts of the tree aren't going to be as helpful if you run out of places to survey too fast. Which is why I tend to pass it up, because I just end up getting boxed in, or I end up in a corner where I don't care anymore, so it ends up not being super helpful to me in most games. But it's a totally viable option. When you've completed any one of these trees fully, you will then unlock an Ascension perk. Ascension perks are ridiculous. And they basically are your end game. These are everything from gaining psychic immortality to becoming cybernetic immortals to becoming the thing that everybody else in the game fights against at the end of the game and becoming the actual endgame crisis. You can build you can learn how to build your own ring world. You can learn how to build warp gates and other crazy constructions. You can research the ability to be genetically compatible with every other sentient being in the galaxy, enabling you to be able to spread your empire even faster. You can build Dyson spheres if you get deep enough in. These are the things that you can do with an Ascension perk. Basically, Ascension perks are your craziness, your endgame, your ridiculousness.
Also, beside the tradition, now I think I got Beta Alliance, so I need to send an envoy.
Oh, you've found somebody. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the new envoy system. I can't show it off on stream because I haven't found anybody yet. But basically, you're going to select an envoy and send them to go talk to them. They are then going to go try to figure out if this species you just ran into in space is sentient and has a language. And if it comes out that they have a language, they will then try to decipher it. And there will be a series of events that occur as your envoy slowly learns about this other being that it's found.
Okay.
Eventually, either you or the other party will figure out the other one's language enough in order to make an actual contact. Now, depending on the cultural differences, determines how that event plays out, and you'll be given a couple of options along the way. Hopefully they're not the Jarmak and Dala at Trinaga fucking aliens I've gotten twice now. Basically, they talk in abstracts. Their language as a language is easily distinguished, but they don't talk in straight language. They talk in allegory. And without context, you're going in blind. So I've had that twice now, and it's very difficult without the context. I've managed to pull it off twice, but it is... Oh, wow, is it hard.
Okay.
I'm on pause now. I had literally two things happen simultaneously there.
Yeah.
I say early game can be very hectic. Later in the game, things tend to slow down. Yeah, we like Xenos. Xenos are friends. Of course, I'm still simping Ollie. Ollie is a Moto. Moto must be taken care of at all times. There is no question in this at any point.
Why do you even ask, bro?
I will protect the Moto forever.
Middle of life. Interesting.
Quite often you can find a event where they'll ask you to survey a whole lot of planets for life on them. Always say yes. There's no downside to that at any point. There's no... Even if you're, I want to purge all other alien races, it has no negative effects on you by taking that, and it's just free points. I get that one almost every game, and it's just an automatic yes whenever it comes up.
Habitable world survey. Okay. the Empress, yeah.
Also, I may be drinking a highball, so at some point tonight I will be drunk.
What? Don't get drunk on stream.
Always get drunk on stream. Amy does it all the time. It'll be fine. I like me some highball. This shit's tasty. Basically just whiskey and water.
System survey complete.
It's delicious whiskey and water.
Mm-hmm.
In my tummy. Why you doubt me, Ghosty? It'll be fine. There's no doubt here.
At one point, I will take over the stream for you.
At this point, I'm just waiting for Emoto to show up. And I'm over here getting drunk and playing a space game.
Yeah, you should play with us, Ryogi.
I mean, I'd love to get like a big game going at some point. Like, get like 20 or something people in here all at once, all playing.
Mm-hmm.
And on the bigger map, that would be a thing to have us all playing together. Trying to do all the diplomacy with all that nonsense going on at the same time. We get enough people into the game, I'll turn off the AI. Won't need them.
Yeah.
Actually, to be honest, if we could get 10 people, I'd just make it the small galaxy and turn off the AI. There's no need for them.
True, yeah.
Be so much happening anyways. Come on, spaceships, research this stuff faster. I want more things to talk about explaining how to play this game as we play this game. Actually, something we could do while I'm sitting here waiting on things to happen is ship designer. If you're incredibly lazy, you can turn on the auto-generate ship designs, which should be on by default.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Because they tend to put... Yeah, research that. They tend to put a bunch of things I don't like on there. There are a couple major combat strategies. You can either use laser, kinetic, plasma, or missile-based weaponry. This is entirely preferential. Whichever line you go down, you're pretty much going to want to stick with at all times. And that's going to be your primary weapon. You might deviate a little bit into a secondary weapon, but for the most part, that's going to be your primary weapons. You also can get hangar bays or fighters. As for defense, the defense against lasers is shields. The defense against kinetic weapons is armor. The defense against missiles is point defense. Plasmas are funky weapons that are kind of like a hybrid of a kinetic and energy weapon. So they kind of get equal parts of both, but those are super rare anyways. It's like a rare technology, so I wouldn't worry too much about the plasma weapons. They're going to be super... they're not going to be very common. It's mostly going to be laser weapons, kinetic weapons, and missiles. That's going to be your three you're going to see on the regular. So, in the early game, you want to kind of mix it. You want slightly more shielding than you want armor, because armor tends to hold up better, especially early game. And you're really not going to have any point defense, so don't worry about it. I personally go energy weapons, and then will later mix in missiles and fighters, because the combination of the missiles and fighters, because the counter for fighters is also point defense. So you basically get this nice double stack of missiles and fighters are countered by point defense. The point defense, the only way to equip them on your ship is to take away combat slots. So if you put a point defense on your larger ship, you don't have a laser weapon or a kinetic weapon or a hangar bay in that spot. You have a point defense there. So you reduce your total damage output by increasing your defense. So by sending a swarm of missiles and fighters while I'm bombarding them with my lasers, basically means they then, if they want to counter what I have to stop taking as much damage, they have to sacrifice the damage they send back at me. Or they just leave themselves open for a ton of missiles and fighters to swarm them while they try to desperately defend from my laser weapons.
Also my envoy, it's now on ongoing investigation, stage 3.
Yes. So it'll be a while. He'll be in there doing stuff for him in it. In the ship designer, you can basically design your ships. I like doing it myself because I like making these custom builds. You can just leave it on automatic and it'll give you really good ships by default.
Our ships have been improved.
Always make sure in the bottom right the auto upgrade button is on. So when you get things like the better reactors unlocked, all your ships just automatically get the new reactors and you don't have to think about it.
That only happen when you manually design it, right? You need to check out
the automatic upgrades will still, by default, should already have the that built into it. If you just do the auto generate, it'll auto upgrade the individual parts to the next upgraded version as it happens. But if you're gonna make your custom one, just always make sure that button is checked.
Yep.
And then in the fleet manager, you can actually design how many of each type of ship you would like in that fleet. Now, early on, all you're going to have are Corvettes, so it doesn't matter. You want a bunch of them. I usually send around 20. 20 tends to be pretty sturdy early game when you can afford to upgrade to it. Really, you're more interested in finding the actual individual upgrades for the components of the ships over having a lot of ships, because what's going to help you early game is having 20 really high-tech ships as opposed to 40 lower-tech ships. Because the weapons tend to upgrade really fast.
System survey
and defensive
complete.
stuff doesn't. So if you can get like 2 tech trees up in laser weapons, there's no shield stopping that. Well, I guess it'd be armor, because the shields do more damage. The lasers do more damage to shields. Kinetic weapons do more damage to armor. So if you want to defend against lasers, you have a lot of armor. But if you have a high enough output laser, the armor doesn't matter anymore. And for the most part, your weapons upgrade faster in the tech trees than the defensive stuff. Typically, this isn't a guarantee, as all tech in the game is RNG. You have no idea what tech you're going to get and when. There's a bit of weighted values, so certain ones are weighted to show up a little earlier than others, but there's no guarantee of anything. Like this game, I didn't get all 3 tech boosts right off the bat. I'm not guaranteed to have that. It's heavily weighted that I'll have all 3 of them as an option to start, but it's not guaranteed. I got really unlucky on this one, but it's fine. I don't need it.
Oh, my leader gained level.
Oh, I live on a Gaia, that's why nothing matters. I'm so used to being on a ice world. I'm super used to my population being from an ice planet. Probably put myself in a bit of a disadvantage, but oh well. If anything, I maybe balanced out our gameplay a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, something to keep an eye on your
Anomaly
worlds
found.
is your housing. So housing can be increased by adding any district. They will all add housing. If you run out of housing, your population is going to suffer. You can only have as much population, you can only have as much housing as your total maximum districts will allow. A city district has the most housing out of any district. The other ones all have 2. A city district has 5. However, a city district does not generate any other resources like the other districts do. All it does is it makes some jobs, but it doesn't produce anything else. City districts, however, will add to your building slots. If you want to build more fancy, specialized buildings in that bottom section, you need more city districts, or to just get your population higher. Depends on which socket you're trying to unlock. You can hover over them to see what they are. Basically, the entire bottom row is city district. If your housing starts to run out, or your jobs start to run low, unemployment is also a big thing. You must have jobs available for your growing population. If you run out of jobs, your people are not going to be happy.
Yeah.
They need to be able to go to work. Basically, you gotta manage, you gotta make sure there's always enough jobs for them at all times. Oh yes, I'm Space Foxes. Because there are no Space Wolves, so I got as close as I could with Space Foxes.
Fubuki.
We are the Space Fubuki. Look, I even made my leader Fubuki colored. Well, as close as I can get with this game. We are space friends. And we're super friendly. So we're space friends.
Situation log updated.
Oh, that's timed. Dang it, I hate when they're timed.
Friendo.
Kind of forgot I was Space Foxes. I'm always Space Foxes, so it kind of just becomes part of the norm. No Space Wolves! What am I supposed to do? I got as close as I could.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Now it took forever. Research is going super slow. Oh yeah, definitely
Situation
habitable
log
worlds.
updated.
Habitable Worlds initiative is always a go-to. Love that bonus. It's just free stuff. And I like free stuff. Free stuff is good. I love the Gaia World art. It's so awesome. You always end up in a solar system with a ton of gas giants, and you almost always end up as a moon of one of the gas giants around a blue star. It's just such a cool concept.
Yeah.
Because it's just so contradictory to how, you know, Earth is. It's gotta be this color star for this, and it's like, but if you had these exact combination of things, is basically what the game designed here, and it's beautiful. It's exotic and fancy. And I like that.
Special project complete.
Nice change of pace over, you know, another Earth-looking planet around a yellow star. Whoa.
Oh, another tradition. Okay. Leader lifespan increased by 20. Sounds good to me.
This game is very much a trial and error where you need to try a bunch of things, play a few games, That's why I say the best way to learn is to just jump in with somebody you can ask questions to and explain all the little nuanced nonsense that's going on, because otherwise there's just so much weird that could happen that you're just not even going to think about something and then be like, oh, this seems like the better thing. This is something I use right now. When there's an option right next to it, it's like, actually, you want that one because in about 10 minutes, that's going to be really important. You just haven't run into why that's important yet. Don't worry about it. Starting to think I maybe need more research ships going around.
System survey complete.
Yeah, also I think I got a new expedition thingy, and then it asked me to scientist is present, the prerequisite for it. Yeah.
So for some research things, you need to actually send your research ship to it. Almost all, a lot of the research things you need to actually send a ship there. So you need to select a science ship and then send it to go do that mission. And then they'll go over there and do the mission, and you can send them elsewhere from there. A lot of the anomalies as they pop up will give you a prompt immediately to just add that to the front of the queue for whatever ship found it. But for research projects, you have to manually go take care of it.
Yeah, got it. Finally, I can do this.
Blazing through my deck tree, my tradition tree, as always. I'm big on having a spiritualist background because of the Unity bonus. Unity is just so powerful, especially early game. If you can knock out 2 tradition trees really fast, just blaze through it and get right to the part where you've got 2 done, you get your ascension perks right off the bat, and then you have 2, and then that 3rd one takes a while, but it no longer matters. You've got 2 perks, and everybody else has like 1 at best. Unless you run into another spiritualist empire out there, they're not gonna be able to keep up with you early game for the ascension perks. Not that one.
Anomaly found.
Okay.
Happy for now.
Yeah.
System survey complete.
Research complete. Okay.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing to hear.
Hydroponics farming.
Always a good thing.
Openings. Yeah.
For technology, better guns, better administrative capacity are always good.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Anything that increases research speed is always good. Survey speed increasing is always good. It basically just, you're gonna have to, because it's random, I can't tell you anything to really prioritize other than things that make research better. If you can make your research go faster, take those over anything else. Otherwise, it's going to be very adaptive to what you currently need and are lacking.
Yep.
Like, if you need more armor, and an armor thing comes up, take the thing that researches better armor. I'm surprised there are as many people watching as there are right now, as I basically explain how to play a game. Also, I think this is the most I've talked in a while.
Yeah. Oh, my special project is done.
Nice. Get anything good out of it?
I'm not sure. I think I can miss it what I got.
Well, you finished it. It should have given you a pop-up of what came out of it.
Yeah.
If nothing else, it gave you a bunch of research. So that's always good. Kind of the default is it gives you a research bump, which is nice. Really undefended spot. Black hole might be helpful. And survey. Fortunately, starting with a Gaia world has kind of messed
The
up my
spirits have
ability
granted
to
us
expand a
new
little bit.
wisdom.
Fine.
Oh, okay. Astolfo is now playing Omori.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a fun experience. Unfortunately, it's gonna take him like 4 hours to get to the part where it's really gonna start fucking with him, if not longer. So, while I wanna see him have to deal with it, like
Yeah,
he's gonna
he's
gonna be in the fun cutesy world for a while. So.
True.
The first bit of that game only messes with you if you already know how it ends, and if you know the true ending, it really gets to you. But if you don't have any context for the ending, that's just a cute, fun, friendly game. Except for the creepy shit that happens, but for the most part, it's a fun game.
Yeah.
I'll check in a little bit when he's deep enough to get really fucked with. Because yeah, that's one of those games I will never play. I love it. I'm 100% behind that game as a concept. I love it. It's a beautiful game. Please make more games like it. I can't play it. I can't play that game.
System survey complete.
Okay. Now my colony ship is colonized
Nice.
planet. Let's see what happens.
I mean, nothing should really happen other than it's gonna go set up on a new planet for you. Should be very chill. Now, something to remember there, though, is you, just like your home world, you have to manage the housing and job requirements of that planet. So you gotta make sure that you have enough housing and jobs for all the people that you're suddenly shoving into there.
Colonization in progress. Okay, nice. Very good.
Or administrative offices. That's exactly what I need. I need more offices. Everybody wants to live in an office, right? Ooh, hey.
Yeah.
Found people.
Oh.
System survey complete.
Also, a good rule of thumb for when you're getting new leaders, pick the young ones. They'll live longer. Basically my rule when I pick leaders. Like, which one of you is the youngest? If nobody has a good benefit, who's the youngest?
Oh, what is this natural wormhole?
Anomaly
Oh,
found.
nice. Basically, if you can get that in your territory, eventually you can get because it's in your territory, you'll get the ability to research how to stabilize it, which means then you can explore it, and you will have a personal gateway to wherever the other side of that is, whenever you want it.
Yeah.
Unlike the gateway systems, the artificial ones throughout the galaxy, the natural wormholes have to be researched how to use them. You don't just repair a wormhole. Like the gateways, you repair them and then anyone can use them. The wormholes, you have to have the technology to stabilize transit through them in order to use them. So it's a little more selective on who can go in and out. You're less likely to have somebody reverse invade you through the wormhole you stabilize than you are to fix a gateway and have somebody show up on your doorstep. From random points throughout the galaxy. The gateways are more powerful, though, because they can go to literally any other repaired gateway in the galaxy. And I do believe there's still a way to build them yourself at super late game. Which is a nice way to really make some strategic jumps. The slow part of the game where it's mostly just waiting on my ships to go places that I've already told them to go.
Yep.
Situation log updated.
Anybody in chat got questions to this crazy nonsense while we're just kind of waiting for stuff to pop up? I see there's still a bunch of y'all hanging around.
Construction complete.
No, a bunch of you probably went off to go watch Stuffy Boy get emotionally scarred for the rest of his life. That's a game that, yeah, I love that game, but wow. That's a get the true end once and be like, alright, I will never play this again.
Yeah, because it fuck you up, you know.
Anomaly found.
The fact that the cutesy part in the beginning messes with you afterwards, like, that should be a when the cutesy portion is scary now and just traumatizing to see because you know the context later. It's just like, oof. Oof, no. Yeah, we're not doing this anymore. We're done.
System survey complete.
Suffering easily.
Anomaly found.
Love the music in this game. Very chill.
Yeah.
I'm really starting to wonder where you are. Relative to me.
I'm below you.
Oh,
down
yeah, because
below.
you can see the stream, so you know. So
Yeah,
you're,
yeah.
you're south of me somewhere.
Yeah.
I have a ship
I'm
headed
down
that way, so...
Yeah, you might find me sometime soon.
Thankfully for you, I'm not the Necroids here to invade and take all your population and turn them into mine. Or my other empire, which is all about feudal conquest. This one's more peaceful.
Construction complete.
They want to be friends with everybody.
Yeah, good things.
It's not really stream sniping when I'm trying to teach him the game and I'm not playing one of my competitive empires. I literally modified one to be less competitive and ridiculous just so I could, you know, not be entirely broken.
System survey complete.
That being said, I'm not like nerfed entirely at a counterpoint, but I'm not nearly as strong as I could have been. In fact, if anything, I nerfed myself extra hard by taking the Gaia world instead of just the normal start. Really good planet down Earth system down there. Build an outpost on that. A little weird not having a pause button in this game. Because when you're in single player, you can just pause it and do a whole bunch of stuff. Let you do a little bit of exploiting, though. All the Paradox games are like that. If you can pause their game in single player, you can do a bunch of exploiting nonsense. Like in Crusader Kings 3, if you have a whole lot of children, particularly daughters, and you happen to elevate your empire to the next empire level up, like you go from a count to a duke, or a duke
Anomaly
to a king,
found.
when you reach that point, those of the same empire status as you will want to get married to your kids. They'll want to marry their kids off to your kids. You know, you're of equal rank now. You have higher value. Well, if you pause the game, you can literally get them all married off simultaneously, and they'll execute all of their deciding if they want to get married based on you having 0 alliances, because they all happen simultaneously. Meaning they'll all say yes, so you can go from no alliances to, like, 80 alliances if you have enough kids for it, and just be like, I am now God. You can't touch me. That's literally how I have a playthrough where I'm a Viking overlord, and I did that at one point where I was in a position where I had a lot of territory, but I'd made a lot of enemies. And then I rapidly added all of these allies to the point where I had a large... If you were to attack me, my empire was double the size of the largest empire on the map. Because I had so many allies. Which gave me a nice safety net while I rebuilt and restructured, because I had rapidly conquered territory. So I was really spread out and really underdeveloped. I was in desperate need of a reorganization. God damn, I need more jobs. Yeah, get back in here. Oh, you're a scientist. And a decent one at that. Alright, well, let me build you a ship. Put your ass to work.
System survey complete.
Eventually all these scientists start dying on me, and I'll just decommission these science ships when I don't need them anymore. In the meantime, it's a whole lot of free researching I can be doing.
The oil stuff.
System survey complete.
Dream, I've got my first ascension.
Construction complete.
My ever-expanding empire can now support more spread.
Oh, what? My science ship got under attack? What the fuck?
Oh, you've run into somebody
Anomaly
hostile.
found.
Yeah. Oh no.
It happens.
Dang you.
Most of the time your science ship is going to escape. It's just going to be unavailable for a little bit, and then it'll pop back up, usually at your capital, and then you just send it back out someplace to go back to doing its job. Just temporarily inconvenient is what it is. They're really good system. Well.
System survey complete.
Now, a thing about adding the outposts, if you add them at a direct connection to an already established, a place you already own, it will be the lowest cost. If you skip over a territory, like the farther away you get from your border in building the outpost, the more expensive it will be to put that outpost up. And it's slightly more than double for each step. So it is actually more cost effective to build one system at a time than it is to jump out there, because you're going to spend a little bit more than it would have cost to buy the chain to buy that one. And then you still have to buy the chain if you want to connect it later. So while it costs even more then buying the chain just to buy the one, you then have to then buy all the individual pieces on top of it. So if you're wanting to build out, always, for cost effectiveness, just build whatever's touching your current empire. But if you have a lot of influence and resources to spare, you
Construction
could jump
complete.
and just go way out deep with it and drop one. And then build in later. But that's very expensive for not a lot of reward.
Anomaly found.
Research. Hello. We're kind of in the slow part of the game now. We haven't really found much of anybody yet, and we're past the point where I explained all the basics. So, it's mostly us just sitting here waiting on us to discover each other and other people. Slow science ships are slow.
Evading heretics.
Oh, hey, I found people. I got so many envoys. Woo! Get to work.
System survey complete.
Space Amoeba. Wow.
Construction complete.
Oh, you found the space amoebas?
Yeah, it's on the invoice, the step 3 one.
Yeah.
So Space Amoeba.
That's always a nice one. They're passive. It's a something you don't have to worry about kind of alien to run into. Alright, I got my factions finally, which means you should be getting yours.
Yeah.
Thing about factions. If they're not happy with you,
Anomaly
you can
found.
click on them to get a nice what their issues are. Basically, you want to keep your factions as happy as possible. Your factions are generated based on your population's ethics. Not your governing ethics, your population's ethics. By default, those will match at the beginning of the game, but if your governing ethics and your population ethics start to deviate from each other, you'll start to run into problems. And if you start doing things that go against the populace ethics, the population will start getting mad at you. And you'll start losing influence.
Yeah.
So basically, the factions are a way for you to see if your people like what you're doing. And generally, you just want to keep the factions happy because it's more influence per turn, which is nice because influence buys you more space stations, which gets you more stuff.
System survey complete.
An interesting hyperlink pattern over here.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom. The
Nice.
spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Oh wow, I'm on a freaking roll.
System survey complete. Anomaly found.
And I don't have enough science ships to go all the directions. I have ways to go. Guess I could always just make another one.
Our science ship is beset by enemies.
Already? 3,000, huh? Alright, we're not fighting that anytime soon. Woo! I found some sort of instantly hostile aliens that are strong as fuck.
An alien empire now speaks to us in the language of the divine.
Yay!
Probe the dimensional portal on corresponding divine. Investigate where dimensional portal leads to.
Oh, lovely. You found a doorway to a whole nother fucking part of the game.
Yeah. Okay.
Have fun. Don't get lost.
Get lost.
Anomaly found.
Alright, spaceships, get back out there and get back to researching.
System survey complete.
We're gonna survey the whole damn galaxy before I get automated researching of the galaxy. And as soon as I get that, I have a lot less work I have to do. 12 months! I got 12
The
months!
spirits have granted us
I
new
don't have
wisdom.
to worry as much about my science ships. One of my favorite things to get. The automated survey, where you can basically just tell your science ships to go survey everything until you can't go anywhere anymore. And they'll just figure out places to go. When you have enough science ships, they just go.
System survey complete. An alien empire now speaks to us in the language of the
Nice.
divine.
See, not made contact with anybody who actually really matters yet, but can you do? Kinda gotta be happy with who I've gotten so far. Be nice if I can get one of the important races and not just, you know, dudes in a space shack with space rocks.
System survey complete.
How have I not run into you if you're down below me somewhere?
Yeah, I'm done below.
Like I'm down in here and I'm just not running into you.
Further down, I think.
I'm almost I'm out of galaxy. I can't go any lower on this side.
Oh, yeah, more left, more south, I think.
Over here
Like
somewhere.
one block, yeah. Like one block left. The left of Iban it failed, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll get there eventually.
Around there.
I'm in the Veil if you want to come make contact.
I'm still researching upside and further right. Yeah, that's it.
System survey complete.
I made contact with somebody.
Yeah.
I bumped into somebody out here. Now I get.
Construction
Oh, it looks like
complete.
it's another space shack. Why am I finding all the space sheds? Nobody care about the space sheds?
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Nice. That's what I want to see. Take your speed up in general. Before we do that, we're gonna grab that. We're gonna go back to expanding.
System survey complete.
A good thing to remember with your expansion pattern is basically everybody has to follow the hyperlanes to start with. So you want to kind of build up out to a point where you can easily hold
Anomaly found.
a singular point of people coming at you. Like in order to get to my entire empire, you need to come through these selected star systems, and that's where you'd want to build defensive platforms. So if somebody were to invade, they're going to have to come through one of these systems, and they're going to have to come through your defensive line. You want to basically you want to find closed off points away from your core, where you want enough territory for you to expand and do what you need to do, but then close it off at a singular point. So everybody has to come through this area.
Anomaly found. System survey complete.
There's also an entire trade system in the game that is currently not really relevant since we haven't met enough people to really care, but you can make an absolute fortune in credits by running just your trade system properly. But until you start meeting other people, that really doesn't matter.
Oh. This system contains gateway.
Nice, you found a gateway. I've also found a gateway.
The disabled one. Okay. Pretty nice.
Construction complete.
It's always nice to have a gateway somewhere in your empire. Usually on a border system. If you can make it one of your choke point systems, it's even better. Because then you can build that defensive platform, and while everyone else has to come through that system anyways to invade you, if they were to take the gateway to get there, they still have to go through your defensive line. They can't bypass your stuff. They still gotta come through your defensive setup. There's also an entire sectors portion of this game where you can have different sectors depending on your planets. That gets really, really complicated on the micromanaging, and is entirely Empire dependent. Depends on what you have and where. You can basically set up different sector. When you have a lot of planets, you can set up sectors to be fully autonomous inside your Empire. To basically these 4 planets are in a sector together with these other star systems to pull resources from, and they can do whatever they want. Basically, you give them some resources.
Situation
and they feed,
log updated.
A portion of what they produce.
An
back to
alien
the main
empire now speaks to us in the language of the divine.
And it's a nice way for you to like basically have like mini vassals, or you can conquer a whole bunch of territory and break off sections of your empire as vassals instead of maintaining it if you don't want to have to deal with all that territory you're conquering.
Anomaly found.
There's a lot of little things like that you can do.
System survey complete.
But if you're like me and running one of these empires with one planet, you don't really have to think too much about sectors because it doesn't matter. I only have one planet. Everything's part of the core sector.
Construction complete.
And if it's not, it doesn't matter. It's all getting filtered directly in anyways. I have a very oddly shaped empire at the moment. Byproduct of my attempt to build out to choke points first. While building up on the most beneficial star system along the way.
Construction complete.
Starting to wonder if I didn't just run into you. No, that's mushroom people. Never mind.
Yeah, not yet.
I'm at a gateway and an alien just showed up, so it raised that question of, is this you?
It's not me. Yep, I think. Yeah, almost there. You're almost there.
System survey complete.
Ships are very slowly surveying their way out from the core. I've basically surveyed everything in the core that I want. Now my
Anomaly
ships are doing
found.
their job, and the research ships are slowly expanding out our knowledge. Although, why am I still manually doing this? I realized I'm an idiot and I have automatic surveying available. And I'm still manually telling them where to go. At this point, it really doesn't matter
System survey complete.
what they research when, because he's already researching the last system I need for expansion. Yeah, plot twist, he's in a completely different direction. Yeah, I know. And anything else I research now is just bonus points.
Evading heretics. Construction complete.
Oh, I've run into somebody and they were hostile.
Oh, nice.
I can't research. Don't care where you survey at this point. We're just trying to discover more shit. Yeah, I think I might have found those hostiles you ran into at one point.
Situation log updated. System survey complete.
This one. I need that more important than I need the other thing. That research project when you're done there. You're gonna anchor that point. I'm really starting to stockpile the resources I like.
System survey complete.
That wonderful point where I have lots of stuff.
Oh no, my consumer goods doesn't look good enough.
Well, the easiest way to fix that is to build more industrial districts,
Yeah.
which also adds housing and jobs. And it
Great.
will also increase your alloys, which makes building everything else easier. I spent a lot of my time jumping between. Like, a lot of this game is knowing, remembering to jump between all your various things. There's also, if you click on your planet, there should be a features button. You can spend some currency, some of your credits, to open up more areas for more districts.
Construction complete.
Basically, every planet is going to have that, where you want to clear those blockers as soon as possible, because it means you can put more districts down, and more districts means more people and more jobs, and for better expansion. And at the end of the
Special
day, you
project
always want more
complete.
expansion. Want to be able to expand as much as possible. That's a natural wormhole down there. Pretty sure that's the one you spotted
System
earlier.
survey
So I'm
complete.
assuming I'm getting close to your territory.
Yeah,
System
yeah.
survey
Pretty close.
complete.
A little far away from my capital for me to come take your wormhole, but I am taking this gateway I found.
Anomaly found.
That wormhole's just too far away for me to worry about.
System
Also,
survey
it
complete.
would require way too many systems conquered to take a proper choke point. Not worth it. Not this early.
I suffer from Empire Sprawl, apparently.
Yes, so at the top of your screen, you'll see like a ball with 3 arrows on it. That's your sprawl. The right-hand number is the maximum value you can have. The left-hand number is how much you currently have. If the left-hand number gets bigger than the right-hand number, you start getting negatives. So being able to keep your... Oh, hi, I found you.
Yeah.
Being able to keep your empire sprawl under control is very important.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, that's yours. Okay.
Yeah, hi, this is mine now. At my empire. That's basically going to be my border in that direction as well. So, and the other border to your right is going out to the Vale, and it's stopping basically at the border to the Vale. I don't plan to expand into it. Not worth. No, not enough resources. Me to worry about.
System survey complete.
And now I just slowly start expanding out into my own territory as I close off another section and then start backfilling all the star systems. Now we can start doing diplomacy related things.
System survey complete.
I want the thing that gives me
System survey complete.
sending you diplomatic things now.
Ah, yeah.
System survey complete.
Wait, how do you
Anomaly found.
upgrade the Empire Sprawl thing? Can you upgrade that?
Yes, so the ways you do that, you can either take an Ascension perk to add a bunch of it, or the easier way is to build administrative offices on your planets in the buildings area. I've already built one on my capital. Building them on your capital is actually probably your best bet, because your capital is going to be your easiest to quickly expand. It's going to have one of your highest total building capacity, just by the nature of it being your
The
capital.
spirits have granted us new wisdom.
And then
What building? Wait.
yeah, so in your, not the districts, but down below, you'll see buildings, and you'll see a little an open spot with a plus in it. You click on that, you'll get a whole lot of buildings, and for Empire Sprawl, you want administrative offices. Bureaucrats make your Empire Sprawl value higher.
Ah, yeah.
There's also benefits you can take that reduce the effects of certain things on Empire
Anomaly
Sprawl.
found.
So if you find any of those along the way, you can take that. Instead of increasing your cap, you just reduce how much you have. In reality, you kind of want to do a little of both. Because that's probably your best way of getting large quantities of expansion. If you reduce how much it's counting against you and increase your total capacity, you can then get a lot of Empire Sprawl crammed in, which means you can get a very large empire. Generally, a very large empire isn't always a good thing, because it becomes very difficult to manage. But having a very large empire also means you have a lot of resources and internal economy to keep you running, which would be very helpful.
The spirits have granted us
depending
new
on your
wisdom.
neighbors.
System survey complete. System survey complete.
I would recommend, well, I don't know how people probably can't afford it because of your Empire Sprawl. I guess it doesn't matter if there's a neutral territory between us. But in general, against the AI, you don't want to leave anything neutral between you, because they will expand there eventually. You want to dictate where your borders are. You want to make sure that you have a choke point with the AI at all times. That one star system between us, you don't really have to worry about because it's us. But against AI, you wouldn't want to leave that open because they'll move there. And if they move there, then they have if they were to invade you, they could go in 2 different locations at any given time. Yeah. And that makes it very hard to defend against an invasion.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Whereas if it's, oh, you ended up building
System survey complete.
Yeah, that's it.
But like, if it's like this, like, if I'm going to invade, you know to stack your entire fleet on that star. Because I have to come through that way. Like, that's the fastest way into your system. You know, I'm coming there.
Evading heretics.
Oh, found more hostile aliens. Oh, hostile alien here in the void I found.
System survey complete.
Also, a lot of empty space we're apparently going to leave between us.
Yeah. So many empty places.
Because, like, I'm not going to expand through the veil, but I've blocked off the access to go into that area to you. They have to go through my borders, which they can't do unless I have open borders with them. So they're stuck. Like, I could just wall that off, and they can't get into that area at all, because the only way in is to go all the way around.
Anomaly found.
This is where I set up my choke point.
An alien empire now speaks to us in the language of the divine.
Research these damn alien creatures cost me a shit ton of research.
Construction complete.
My Imperial fleet is growing quite nicely.
Special project complete.
Nice. Special project done. Starbase there. We're gonna build our way up to, honestly, that might be the end of that line and just fill in.
Anomaly found.
Not a huge reason for me to continue to expand beyond that. Well, that dark matter might be nice.
Anomaly found.
Ancient battle site.
Oh, that's a good research location.
How do you excavate this?
So if you go to your situation log, it will, and you click on the actual thing, it will tell you
System survey complete.
what you need to send there. Likely you need to send a science or construction ship, is typically all you ever send. you're gonna have to send that ship to that location to research it. And you just click on one of that type of ship, right-click the system that it's in, and tell it to do research projects, and that ship will go off and do it.
Yeah.
I like that the deadbeat's yelling about simps in the chat. That's your name's literally Deadbeat.
Sim, okay.
Hot. There's the kettle.
Are you sure you are not Sim too? I mean, that bit.
System survey complete.
Sir, your irony is showing.
Yeah.
Anomaly found. Situation log updated.
I keep instinctively hitting spacebar to pause the game. It doesn't work here. My single-player muscle memory for this game keeps kicking in. An event pops up and I immediately tap space. Even though I don't need to do that.
This could take entire day to finish it.
Huh?
You can play it like 2 days and it's still going on.
Yeah, like this is a very long game.
Yeah.
I don't expect us to finish this game. I mostly expect you to start running into basically run through a large gambit of the stuff and then decide that I want to tweak these 7 things of my empire by the end of it, and then want to restart anyways, and then get like halfway through that game and go, I want to tweak these 6 other things.
System survey complete.
It'll be a good like 6 or 7 games before you're happy with your empire.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of this game. You're not gonna be happy with it until you've played a few games and run into a few things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've decided, alright, this is what I want, because this is what works.
Hey, me. This guy thinking what?
Anomaly found.
It happens on the other game too, so it's pretty relatable.
Oh, that's a frigate. Okay, alright. I'm gonna go ahead expand you. And we'll expand I don't like your name. Get out of here. And then we're gonna go ahead and merge that right up. That's a nice,
Oh yeah.
That's a nice fleet right there I just made.
About the military one, what do I need to
Construction complete.
know about it?
What do you mean?
Like the fleet manager and
Oh, so
like
fleet manager, that's just how you mix and match what ships you want in your fleet. So when you get more than just corvettes, you'll want to say, I want
System survey
10 corvettes,
complete.
3 frigates, 5 battleships. But I want them of this particular... So you can, in the ship designer, you can make multiple corvettes. So right now I'm just running interceptors because it's all I have the access to anyways, is the basic corvette. So interceptors are kind of just a thing to have when you only
Anomaly
have one
found.
ship size. But when I get bigger ships, I'll want picket ship corvettes that are nothing but point defense. And all they're going to do is hang around my battleships and my capital ships and keep missiles and fighters off of them. That's their whole point of existence. But so you'll want, like, I want a couple of those, and then I want some interceptor corvettes to get in there. I want some mid-range frigates to do some mid-range scrapping while all this is happening. Like, it's a way for you to manage what all goes into the total composition of the fleet.
Anomaly found.
By the way, how can you find the new design? I mean, like, other than corvette?
So in order to do that, you have to research it. So you have to hope that your engineering research person comes up with a new ship class for you. Is basically what you have to do.
System survey
engineering is
complete.
one of the most important.
An alien empire now speaks to us in the language of the
because
divine.
of that. Engineering is very important early because it is your ship classes. And a lot of your defensive tech also comes through engineering. So it's a very important early thing to put a lot of effort into engineering. And once it's running, it kind of just runs itself. Really like to upgrade my fighting force a little bit more before I send my ships in any sort of real combat. Thinking that's because these don't have blue lasers on them yet. That would be why they're not doing so hot. Because we technically wouldn't have enough power if I did that. Well, if I do this. So yeah, the ship designs are
situation log
very
updated.
complicated because you do have like power constraints along with the hard points to work with.
Anomaly
So
found.
you have to make sure that you have enough power to supply all the modules you've strapped onto a ship. Like I have better lasers available, but my power source is kind of lackluster. But I have a way to boost my reactor with a little bit more cost up front. I can make that reactor better, which makes it have enough power to cover the better lasers, which gets that rolling sooner. And better lasers means more firepower, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, an election. Okay.
Special project complete.
Oh, I found spooky invisible death stuff. Neat. And I think I'm about, for those who are still watching stream, I'm about to send some ships into combat.
Anomaly found.
There's gonna be some excitement. I'm gonna go shoot stuff whenever they're done upgrading. So if anybody stuck around, 4 hours into the stream of us talking about mechanics of a video game.
Yeah.
The
Finally,
spirits
some
have granted us
exciting
new
stuff.
wisdom.
Welcome to 4X Games. This is as exciting as it gets. Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, true that.
We're not
That's
here for
true,
excitement. We're here to talk about things and think big thoughts. If you want action, you gotta play
System
something like,
survey
Apex.
complete.
Apex, yeah.
Which is why we play Apex and things like of that nature. Because this is what we do when we're not playing those.
True. This game for chilling and sometimes watching some stream.
And drinking.
Yeah.
I tend to play a lot of Stellaris and CK3 and EU4 while listening to things like Critical Role. That's a 3-hour fucking stream of a bunch of nerds playing D&D. I'll go play 3 hours of a 4X game and just listen to them talk about D&D shit. And then usually pass out.
Mhm.
Bring it.
Our ships have been
Frigate
improved.
is so strong. All right, let's do this. I want to see if if I can pull this off. Here we go. Here's my fleet.
Anomaly found.
Oh, damn it. Game. Stupid pop-up. Try that again. The Imperial fleet is setting off. My new frigate at the head. In fact, let's get these guys an admiral.
Scum and villainy. Crime continues. Okay.
There you go. Now you guys have a leader.
Oh, the amenities. Okay.
Wonder if anybody has translated any of my naming conventions for my people. You probably know what to put all these mean. You got onto any of my naming conventions for my people and my places?
Oh.
Construction complete.
They're very simple. I will say that. I was not the most
Anomaly
abstract
found.
I've ever been with my naming convention. I was rather direct.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
More tech. I like that. Ooh. Yeah, I'll take that. Wait, that would have been expensive buy, but I have a boost to it. So I'll take it. I'll take that early. Alright, here we go. We're jumping into the system for combat.
Anomaly found. Heretic fleet engaged.
And we're in combat.
Situation
I'm
log
looking at pretty lights.
updated.
May not win this. Yeah, we did not win that fight. Well, that's okay. We whittled them down, we'll go rebuild, and we'll go again. That's kind of how this works.
System survey complete.
We're fighting against a superior enemy, and it's gonna be a tough fight.
System survey
Okay.
complete.
My upkeep. Negative income. The first time experience is always like this.
Your economy's not great.
Yeah, when the economy is not great, and then you kind of, oh, what did I do wrong? And then you just restart the game.
Yeah. I mean, that's what a Forex game is. You gotta keep
Yeah,
trying.
yeah. True.
You look every loss is a chance to learn more about how the game functions. You can improve. Is it just one thing you're lacking on? Do you have a lot of something? Because if you have a lot of one resource, there is a way to get the other resources.
Yeah, through the market.
You can sell any resource. Minerals, food, alloys, or consumer goods. You can sell them all If you click on any of them, it'll bring up the market.
Construction
You sell them
complete.
for credits, and then you can buy whatever you need with more credits.
System
So,
survey
your solution
complete.
there is if
System survey
you're
complete.
short on something, but you have a lot of something else, you can basically just swap one resource for another.
Yep.
System survey complete. System survey complete.
That's something you don't want to do too much, because you do want to balance out your economy so you're making a positive in everything. But in a pinch, you can just start trading items around. I have a really good leader on my combat fleet now. This dude is a fighter pilot fast. Like, he's got 2 buffs to sublight speed. Okay, he's gonna be amazing in actual combat. I just gotta get him a strong enough fleet to command, and he'll start mopping the floor with people. And he's young, so he won't die anytime soon. Oh, we're gonna have fun with him. Yeah, he's only 30. Woo! I'm not as venerable as my usual Empire build.
Anomaly
but
found.
if I go my psionic route fast enough, I can basically make up for that, which shouldn't be too hard to do. I did go spiritualist, so it should be pretty easy to get the psionics going. Not fanatical though. It's got a higher weight. And that gateway system is making me a ton of money. 19 energy credits mined out of that one system.
Wow, that's nice though.
My capital makes 15. And I'm making more energy credits out of that system than my own capital.
That's very nice. Oh. Oh no, special project failed. Why? Well,
To a higher level, probably.
yeah,
Happens.
it happens.
Anomaly found.
Basically, you want it to say routine before you hit go. It's basically the rule of thumb. They basically never fail routine. There's always a small chance they will, but it's super low. Anything if it's red text, don't even bother. Just leave it for later. Because they won't go anywhere. The research stuff, they'll just sit on in those systems until you go do them. So you just wait for your people to be higher level, then to back around again. Surprised I haven't run into any other empires. Like, usually I've run into some by now. But nothing out here.
Yeah, they are elsewhere.
Like, look how much of this galaxy I've explored and I haven't found anybody.
Construction complete.
Build my ships up. I want to go back to fighting.
System survey
Somehow
complete.
with rebuilding my ships, my leader upgraded. That's right. My leader's more powerful, so my fleet, even though it's the same exact fleet I just sent into combat, because my leader's better, I've gained even more firepower.
Anomaly found.
I found
The
another wormhole.
spirits have granted us new wisdom. System survey complete.
2 wormholes in close proximity. Yeah, this would definitely be a game that's more exciting with more players.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I would love to get a big group of us going at some point.
I think only Ryogi played this. Astolfo played Civilization though.
I also play Civ. We could definitely do that. That is an option.
Yeah, yeah. I played Civ the 6th one.
I've got. Yes, the most recent one is the only one that runs on my current computer because they went and broke the last one. Play game devs, but whatever. I haven't played in forever though, but
System survey complete.
I will say there was a time I was straight up banned from playing certain civs because I was always winning and everybody got annoyed. So they're like, "You're not allowed to play this anymore.
Heretic fleet engaged.
You have to play anybody else."
That happened when you're too good.
Well, they banned me from. I always played Japan, and they banned me from playing Japan because I just couldn't be killed. And they're like, "This is stupid. You always win with the same. You always end up with a science victory because nobody can kill you to stop you." So I'm like, "All right, fine." And then they wanted to play on an ocean map, a tiny island.
Construction complete.
And I'm like, "Sure, all right." I picked England. I won.
Yeah, the best fleet, the best.
And they're all like, and it's just, this was way
System
before all the memes
survey
for
complete.
that kind of stuff, but it was like, their reaction was just shocked Pikachu face. Like, I'm like, what did you expect? You wanted to play an ocean map, you banned me from playing Japan, and nobody picked England. Guess who I picked?
That's like, yeah, give you victory for free like that.
Let me just build ships of the line and invade everybody, and like as soon as we hit the era where I could make ships of the line, it was like I told them like, y'all just lost. And you're like, what do you mean? Like, I can build ships of the line now.
System survey complete.
Like, oh, they can't be that strong. Proceed to wipe every navy they had. You were saying?
It's like,
and then I proceeded to just bunker up behind my ships of the line and go for a science victory, and they couldn't touch me. We're like, what happened? We're like, well, he wiped out all of our navies, and by the time we put all the resources into rebuilding, we had wasted so much time rebuilding our military that he went to fucking space! Again! I'm like, you can take away my samurai. I'll still fucking go to space before any of you can stop me.
It's like that one time picking the Rome because the colon. What is it called? I
System
forgot
survey
the group
complete.
name. Is fucking OP.
Yeah, Rome's always a little bit broken.
Yeah, that special troop is broken.
Not docked at the station? What's happening? There we go. Rebuild ships. I lost my frigate, which is annoying, but I got it for free, so it's whatever. Slowly whittling down that AI grouping. Only got a combined strength to 600 now. I should be able to start punching through it soon. I just don't have the defenses for it. Really my problem. I want them out of this system.
System survey complete. Anomaly found.
I don't know how I'm gonna break this 3,000 something power one marked on my border as well. Thinking another about 30 minutes or so of this, and we'll call it for today.
Yeah. Yeah.
At this point, I just want to break this fucking hostile fleet. That's my only goal right now, because I've not found
Construction
anyone to mess with. I'm like, I don't really have a goal right now.
Anomaly found.
I know something I can do because I've researched the ability to do it. Oh, you have an ideology Capus belly on me. Interesting. Which is oh, I guess because I'm an empire and you're you're an egalitarian. I guess that's our conflict. We have different governing ideas. You're over there about voting people in, and I'm like, yeah, we got an emperor.
Yeah. Total opposite.
We have the same ideals, we're just very different in how we get there.
Yeah.
Can't do any of the fancy federations because you don't share. You're not an authoritarian, so we can't do that one. Neither one of us is militaristic. I'm not materialist. Well, neither one of us are materialists. And we're not a fucking merchant guild, so...
Yeah.
I propose to you a federation.
Anomaly found.
Oh.
A sacred covenant has been forged. Anomaly found.
Yeah, I think I need to play the single player one because
I mean, yeah, you definitely want to play some in single player as
Special
well.
project
Yeah,
complete.
Especially now that you have
System
a
survey
grasp
complete.
of how all this nonsense works. Now, federations are very awesome. So what federations can do is you can build a federation fleet.
okay.
So using both of our technology, we can build ships, basically. So you have access to anything I know, you can put on a ship. Anything you know, I can put on a ship, as long as it's part of the Federation ships. I'm just gonna put together, because I'm currently president, I'm just gonna slap together a really nice ship, save that design. And there we go. God, there's so many freaking pop-ups.
Someone just realized that you play with me. Hello, Alto Sky.
How did you not notice that I've been talking to him for however many hours this has been going for?
It's like almost 3 hours playing this.
System survey complete.
Yeah, because my nickname is not shown, I think. That's why they don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess. Oh, we have different ethics. That's why
Construction
we're
complete.
XP on the Federation. We're
Ah.
just different enough in our governments that the game's like, yeah, you're friendly, but you're a little too different. So I guess that's something that didn't always exist. So they've added a lot of things in the recent couple of expansions that I never really played with,
Anomaly found.
because I usually don't go Federation. I know they revamped Federations, but I haven't really utilized it very often because that's not really my thing. Usually my building strategy is a feudalistic empire where I don't form a federation. I vassalize people, but I'm a feudalistic vassalization where, yeah, you're my vassal. I don't care what you do though. Go conquer shit. Have fun.
Yeah.
Pay your taxes. Hey, it's a very like hands-off kind of control where it's like you pay your taxes, I'll show up if somebody tries to invade you. Otherwise, I don't give a damn. Do whatever you want. Like, run your empire. Pay your taxes, and I'm here to defend you if something happens. And I'll bring all the other vassals along if somebody comes after you. Basically is what it is. Like, which is why people want to be in such a situation, because it's beneficial to them to be under such heavy protection
System survey
of a
complete.
wall of people I bring.
Construction complete.
Now, that being said, because we have a federation now, I can start building federation ships.
Okay.
Although I guess I can't because I can't afford it. Oh, our Federation fleet
found.
capacity is already reached by having 0 ships in it.
Oh, what?
We don't have enough capacity. Because we don't have enough cohesion.
Oh, yeah.
If you assign an envoy to the Federation, it might help.
Oh,
Anomaly
I can
found.
do that?
Yeah, if you click on the little Federation button that's popped up on your screen, you can assign an envoy.
Oh, wait. Where is this?
Should be like a blue circle with stars on it somewhere on your screen.
Assignment 4.
Then somebody making his job to come hang out. Yeah, that added a little bit more. So now we're at... Oh yeah, that added quite a lot actually.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
Our cohesion is now a positive number. So we're currently at a negative of 17 by default, but we're gaining 3.8 every month. So that's eventually going to go positive, which will start getting us positive XP which will let us do more things. Like, build more ships. Oh, you can send lots of envoys, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on, let me deal with this situation log thing that just popped up.
System survey complete.
What the hell's this? Do I even have a ship near
Anomaly found.
that? Probably not. Oh. Alright, we're just gonna leave that alone. You go... Oh, that's not hostile anymore. Is that not hostile anymore?
They go.
Did becoming a Federation member make them not hostile with me anymore?
Construction
maybe?
complete.
I don't know.
Alright, I'll keep Sybil not assigned to the Federation building in case I need to make relations with anybody else on first contact. Otherwise, everybody is either trying to improve relations with you or the Federation.
Found.
Yeah.
Trying to get our numbers up. Oh yeah, we have a positive. Oh, I
System
like that. We have
survey
positive
complete.
XP. We're getting somewhere.
Nice.
Construction complete.
Oh, look at this. We have so many controls.
Oh, Stuffy Boy is on the mirror? No, okay.
Is that one part?
Where the sus mailbox, the sus mailbox.
Ah, he made it to sus mailbox. Okay.
Yeah,
He hasn't gone to the real world yet. No, he has gone to the real world once.
Yeah, not yet, not yet. It's still far away. 92 minutes in, I think.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't in a hurry to rush over there. It's like, you're gonna be a minute, buddy.
Yeah.
Not a short trip.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Oh, I guess you did the pacification of the people I hadn't, of the aliens I hadn't yet, is why they're peaceful now. Because I'm in a federation with you, I've gained the pacification bonus. I hadn't pacified. I pacified one of them, but not the other yet. I'm in the middle of. I'm still doing that research. So they're pacified now. So the group of space things I was fighting are no longer hostile. Because I've joined a federation with somebody who pacified them already.
There is one hostile down.
Yeah, it's the shards down there. That's too tough for me to crack right now. I've only got 1,000 firepower, and that's 2,000 total. And I can't make any Federation ships. That was kind of my plan. Was I was going to crank out some Federation ships
survey complete.
to give us some more firepower, but I can't make any of them right now. So.
System survey complete.
Another science ship. Oh my god, I found a relic world.
Oh.
And it's like super far away from my core, but it's a planet I could actually settle on by default. Oh, it's huge too. Oh,
nice.
that is so good,
found.
and it's so far away.
Ah. Time to work on that.
Construction complete.
Although if that's a dead end over there, I could close that off with 4 stations. I could block that whole area off.
System survey complete. Construction complete.
I'm making so much everything right now.
I'm still sucks on the minerals. Still working on the mining stuff.
System survey
It's not that
complete.
bad now though.
Put down Apollo theaters and commercial zone and some luxury residences. My people might live in a beautiful utopia. They might be under an imperial rule, but they're fucking loving it.
Yeah.
They're looking over at your egalitarian rule and being like, I mean, yeah, sure, you get to vote on your leader, but look at where we live.
True.
We'll take our empress. She knows what she's doing. The empire is good. In fact, I'm nowhere near my empire sprawl either. Like, I can keep expanding. Alright, Sybil, go make contact with these weird-looking aliens we finally found. Please tell me I found another empire. Also, I think I may have, if I don't find anybody along this line I'm going out on the outer rim here, I think we basically, like, have this whole bottom right section is uncontested. There's not a whole lot out here, but...
What the hell? I have a
System
leader
survey
that
complete.
corrupt.
Huh?
The corrupt leader, the governor.
Oh, yeah, that happens.
Well, sucks to beat you.
Pretty much. Alright, let's take a look at... Okay. One of these aliens I'm observing.
Oh,
The
this-
spirits have granted us new
Oh,
wisdom.
hold on, I got new tech. I don't want coil guns. Like fucking crystallized hull plating. Oh, that's...
System survey complete.
Might be a minute, but might be worth it. Alright, so these are... They like Savannah preference, very strong communal. Okay. What kind of government do they have? Peaceful xenophobe. Yeah, hi. Alright. How about we indoctrinate them? I can afford to do that.
Construction complete.
Come back to that. Wrong planet. Yeah, they'll thank us one day. Or they'll hate us for literally directing how their culture evolves.
Yeah.
Militaristic materialist. Ooh. Oh, you guys are gonna be a pain in the
Anomaly
ass.
found.
Well, only one solution to that. Indoctrinate.
God did it.
Oh, your culture is too different from mine. You should be like us.
Yeah, join us. That's how we
Anomaly
convert any
found.
fans into Jomili or Jomrades. Indoctrinated them.
You want to be like us, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to be just like us. One of us. One of us.
One of us.
I like the irony of our build. Your stuff is named after Ollie.
Yeah.
You vote for your ruler. I have my own custom theme. I have an empress.
I still have picked the Emperor one. So yeah, we got only as Empress here.
The empress lives next door. And just goes, there's irony here.
Yeah. Oh, nice. What is this?
Construction complete. An alien empire now speaks to us in the language of the divine.
Who the fuck did I make contact with? Is it another goddamn shack? I have. You are the only empire I've run into.
The entire 3 hours.
I cannot find an AI empire anywhere in this goddamn game.
That's weird. Shouldn't be happening.
I've met one other empire, and we've made a federation, and I can't find anyone else. Look how much territory I've explored, and I cannot find them.
It happens.
No, it doesn't. I'm used to a much more crowded and larger galaxy. I'd have run into somebody by now. In fact, I'd be boxed in entirely. I'd be done exploring right now because everybody had closed their damn borders to me.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I'm
System
still
survey
over here going,
complete.
I could probably expand some more. That shouldn't be a thing I'm able to keep doing. Ships are at capacity. I don't have anything to fight anymore. A little light on the credits.
System survey complete.
Alright, Sybil, get back to making first contact with whoever the hell we found over here. Let's hope these guys are an actual... They're probably not. Spaceship, aren't they? Oh! This is like a flotilla. I found the Quarians.
System survey complete. Situation log updated. Anomaly found.
Interesting. I found the Quarians. Look at this. Oh, is this a space only civilization?
Whoa. Yeah. Alien space station. Yeah, maybe. That's pretty cool.
And then L gate? Oh, that's sketchy. L gates are dangerous. L gates are incredibly powerful, but can basically they're how you can get one of the end game events.
System survey complete.
Yep. Go off of there. I'll need to continue building relations with you. Like plus 500 because we're in we're plus 556 in relations because we're in a federation together. I think we're good.
System survey complete.
Yeah, we are good.
Oh, I managed to find space amoebas. I haven't met those yet. I guess I have because I know what they are.
System survey complete. Construction complete.
Is this all still considered one sector? It is. These I have made quite the sector over here for my core. Alright, I found these guys. They, oh! It's a casino.
What?
I found a space casino.
Nice.
Alright guys, we're going to Space Vegas.
That's so random.
It's another wormhole.
Oh, finally, my upkeep.
Construction complete.
I'm still not at administrative capacity. I can continue to grow. This is insane. I guess I'm just gonna go envelop out to the casino. It's not the most strategic thing I can do right now, but at this point, like, the resources elsewhere just aren't as worth it as picking up this world I can expand into.
Situation log updated.
Uh-oh.
Oh. What is this Leviathan?
Oh. We found the sketchy things.
Oh.
This is is not good. Oh no.
System survey complete.
Oh boy. Where'd you find the space Leviathan? Where was this? That's super sketch. We don't want that. That's bad. Also, I've started, I might have found a fancy sphere. We're entering into that territory of oh no.
Construction complete. System survey complete.
Oh, finally, all positive.
System survey
Took you long
complete.
enough.
Huh?
Finally, I got my resources at positive rate.
An alien
Nice.
empire now speaks to us in the language of the divine.
I've met an AI. I've met another nation. They are very far away.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah. Oh.
He way over there. No wonder it took so long. He ain't nowhere near us.
Yeah.
Incoming transmission.
Oh, what's this? Oh, yeah, sure, I'll establish an embassy with you. Random other nation. Oh, it's a trade league. What are your... Oh, that's wrong. Not you. These guys. Very militaristic, fanatic spiritualist, theocratic dictatorship. Alright, so they get along well with me.
Anomaly found.
Like, we can coexist pretty well. You know, the little spiritual side of things. What time is it? Oh, it is getting late.
Construction complete.
We'll end it at 23:32. Or 22:32. That's what I meant. The year. For today. Didn't do bad. There's plenty of expanding to be done. You're finally positive.
Yeah.
Can our Federation make any ships yet? Nope. We're leveling up though.
Yeah.
We're getting there. We're slowly leveling up the Federation. By slowly, we're actually blazing through. We're making. The only way we could do this better if we had more real people to help. Just be like, pump all your envoys in.
Yeah. More invoice.
Power level this. Get us to high capacity. Being in a Federation is very strong because of that unified fleet. Basically, you can build up to a point where you get attacked, and the
Anomaly
Federation
found.
fleet is so ridiculously powerful that nobody can
System
stop it.
survey complete.
Yeah, especially if we can research different things, right? And then
Yeah,
we got all
that's the real
power.
thing, is where you start mixing all the different
System survey
researches,
complete.
because the Federation shares everybody's tech.
System survey
So
complete.
while I'm all about heavy armor and laser weapons, if you go shields and kinetics, we can then just mix and match those parts on the Federation ships.
Yep.
Situation log updated. Situation log updated.
Oh my god, I have so much happening.
Lost in space.
There is so much happening.
Anomaly found.
I literally can't keep up with all the things happening. There's so much.
Oh, nice one.
Construction complete.
But yeah, I'm gonna pause it there, so we can save.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my
It's
normal.
been fun.
Yeah, I'm
Many
gonna.
things.
Yeah, and the only way to improve upon this is to play about 100 more times.
Yeah. True.
And add more players. But that's, you got the basics, and then we played for a bit. And honestly, at this point, I'm pretty sure we're in a position where we will win. We will win the game. If we keep going the way we are. We already have the Federation. We're already built up. I've got an extremely strong, stable economy. And I'm just expanding now for the sake of adding more to it. You're basically, you've stabilized, which means you can then start following what I've got. And, I mean, you see all what we have. Your territory is about as the same as mine, size-wise. You're a little behind me on the firepower, but,
Yeah.
and economy, but again, I've played a lot more, and I kind of min-maxed this build a little bit. I have one planet, mind you.
Yeah, I have like 3 planets, and then I'm still
One
don't
planet.
update, like.
I'm doing this with one world. So yeah, there's definitely room for improvement, but that's the general. And
Yeah,
I've saved. I'm gonna end the stream there.
Okay.
Thanks
Nice.
for
Thank you.
watching.
Been fun.
Yeah, we'll do more of this, hopefully with more people at some point. Because more people make this more fun. But yeah,
Okay.
thanks for watching the stream. I'll be back later with I don't know what. I don't really pick things ahead of time. I make it up as I go along. So thanks for watching. Bye.